Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. We've been keeping tabs on him, and this morning we're going to get the latest review from his swim around Tobago. Talking about endurance swimmer John Procope. He's joining us via Zoom this morning. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning. Thanks very much for having me.
Not a problem. Now, back on October 13th, you took the mission up and decided you're going to swim around Tobago. We didn't get all the way around. I understand that there were some challenges, but you definitely swam an amazing feat to begin with. So let me say congratulations on your achievement. But how do you feel now? Do you feel recovered yet?
Yes, I feel recovered.
All right. Tell me.
Actually, I feel.
Go ahead.
No, I'm actually quite happy because the last time when I did the 24 and a half hour swim, I felt more physically drained than I did this time.
And this
So
time you
I
swam
guess
for
it's an
longer.
improvement. This time I swam for 33 and a half hours, and I could actually soak under my arms in the shower the next day. So it's an improvement.
Well, I guess it gets better every time. But tell me how the experience was
Yes.
for you, because you started off at Storby, and you swam on the northern side of the island. Tell me how that experience was for you.
Oh, it was an amazing experience, and we had a fantastic team, a lot of support, and we started off. Although the conditions were not ideal for the weather, we started off really well, and the first part of the swim went really smoothly. We got to Cotton Bay when the darkness fell. And at that point, we started to experience a lot of river debris because obviously it was a stormy weekend, which is why we postponed from Friday until Monday. And the rivers had come down in Castara and Parlatuvia and Bloody Bay. So swimming at night up that stretch of the island was really disconcerting because we kept colliding with pieces of bamboo and coconuts and coconut fronds. It was pretty intense in the dark, but then we made it through the night, and we got up to Charlottesville, and that's when the real action began, when we had to traverse the passage between Charlottesville and St. Giles Islands, where the Caribbean Sea meets the Atlantic Ocean. And the
Right.
currents became incredibly strong there on a falling tide. So it took a lot to get into Speyside, and in Speyside we were met by a fantastic cheering crew of supporters on the Blue Waters Inn jetty in Batu Bay. So that was wonderful to see so much support up at the other end of the island. And then we tried to make it out of Speyside and head back down on the Windward coast. However, we were thwarted by very strong currents off of Delaford Point. And it was going into a second night. The team was very tired, and after fighting those strong currents, we decided that it would be the most responsible thing to do to call the swim from a safety perspective. So that's what we did, but we're happy with our effort.
I mean, I definitely am proud of your efforts as well. So, in terms of making that call in that moment after the currents, and you battle through the currents, and you realize there's still more battling of currents to come. In that moment of making the call, tell me what was going through your mind. What was the conversation like with the team? Give us some more details on that moment.
Well, that moment was a moment of complete desperation. In my head, it was like a life or death moment. My captain actually, David McLean, and the rest of the Predator team, they know how to motivate me. So they told me, if I can get around Delaford Corner before the sun goes down, then they would consider um, continuing the swim. And so I battled as hard as I could. And I think for about 8 minutes, I was in a current that I couldn't get out of. And
Wow.
I was almost sprinting. Um, so it's amazing what the mind can do when you're suitably motivated. But after
Yeah.
that 8 minute sprint against the current, when I didn't move, pretty much, it was clear that it was a futile effort at that point. And so when my captain blew the air horn, I came out of the water straight away, and the team congratulated me, and my other support swimmers, Richard Connie Bear and William Carr. We all gave it our best, and we did know that because of the weather conditions on this weekend, it would be extremely challenging. And due to circumstances beyond our control, on this occasion, we were forced to have to go on this particular weekend. So, we're looking forward to giving it another go when the conditions are more suitable. Fingers
Yep.
crossed we will have a better showing.
Tell me, in terms of the recovery time after you got out of the water and you went onto the boat. I mean, I imagine you were exhausted. You were swimming for 33 plus hours, right? But in terms of getting back that energy and that life within yourself, how long does that part of the process take?
Well, I felt fairly good on the boat traveling home because I had the adrenaline pumping
Yeah.
still, and I did my stretching routine, so that I wouldn't be too sore. But I think that mentally, after you've been swimming for 33 and a half hours, day and night, your mind definitely starts to play tricks on you. So
Mm.
the point when I got into the boat and I started to relax and we started to drive back down to Scarborough, that was where I began to hallucinate. And this actually happened to me the last time when I swam to San Souci. When we were traveling back to Tobago in the boat after the swim, that was when I began to hallucinate. And I saw forests of trees in the ocean as if they were islands. And I knew that it was a hallucination. I knew that it was my mind not making sense of maybe the negative and positive spaces of the clouds, in the twilight. But it was exactly the same hallucination as I had when I finished the 24 and a half hour swim. So that was pretty interesting, seeing the same hallucination twice. And then,
Yeah.
of course, when we're coming into Scarborough, I asked the rest of the team, "Do you see the trees?" And they said no. So that's just your mind playing tricks on you. But other than that, the main issue was the salt tongue, and that, of course, is a condition that happens to all open water swimmers. If you spend a long time in the salt water, the salt does quite a bit of damage to your tongue, and it's quite an uncomfortable um, condition. But it's part of what open water swimming does, and such is life. I couldn't eat solid food for 3 days after the swim,
Wow.
but I'm fully recovered now and raring to go again.
Nice. Well, we give thanks for that indeed. John, two questions. One, when do you hope to be able to try this swim again? And two, is there anything that you would do differently?
Oh, definitely. Well, it's a constant learning process. Every time we do one of these long swims, we learn a tremendous amount. It took us 3 times to get it right to get to Trinidad, and
Right.
so it's definitely about timing it. It's definitely about choosing the right weather window, and the weather window is incredibly important because you have to take the tides into consideration, the moon phases, and of course the current speeds and the direction that the currents are flowing in. So we're lucky because we have very, very accurate weather software. We use the Windy app, among other platforms, to try and mitigate the weather conditions and analyze them. And then we choose the day that is suitable. And when we are able to stick to such a day, usually we get successful, or we are successful. However, when we're not able to choose the correct day, that's when you normally have difficulties, because one thing we've learned above all else is you cannot fight nature. You have to work with nature. So on this occasion, due to circumstances beyond our control, we had to go on this particular weekend, and we even had to postpone it from the Friday to the Monday. However, the next time we go, we will prepare ourselves so that we will not have to force a particular weekend. We will be able to choose our time more strategically, like we're used to doing.
Right.
And so we're hoping that that will give us, you know, better results.
Most definitely. John, I also understand that you did this swim with a particular intention in mind. Can you remind us what that intention is?
Absolutely. So, my personal campaigns are to raise awareness of the devastating impacts of climate change, overfishing, and pollution on our oceans, and also to encourage learn to swim programs nationwide and region-wide. And this time, we took it a step further by working with two NGOs, two local NGOs that are specific to these causes. Um, the first NGO, Aqua Smart Foundation, deals with learn to swim programs, and the second NGO, Species, deals with ocean research and conservation. So this time, we were able to raise money online during the swim per kilometer for these two NGOs. And we're definitely going to be working with these NGOs again. And this, I think, is the way to go.
Definitely, and I definitely want to say that we 100% support you, and we're looking forward to the next time you decide to make this swim. If persons want to get in touch with the NGOs, do you have information that they can reach out to them?
Yes, absolutely. The first NGO, Species, it's spelled SPESEAS. So it's a play on words,
Right,
species. Right? So you can check out their Facebook page, you can check out their website, and then of course the AquaSmart Foundation is Learn to Swim, and this is a brainchild of Aquatica Swim School, and they
right,
also have a Facebook page and they also have a website. We have a website that we created for the swim, which will continue to take online donations for these two NGOs. And of course, this will be the website that we use for any and all swims going forward.
yeah. Well, John, again, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on the swim. We look forward to hearing so much more from you.
Thanks very much for having me, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Yeah, man. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ladies and gentlemen, and there on swimmer John Procope sharing with us his experience as he swam. Well, he made the attempt to swim around Tobago. He got most of it. He got halfway there and then experienced some dread currents after 33 and a half hours of swimming. That is ridiculous. I don't know if you ever swim for even an hour, but 33 hours is no small feat. Congratulations to you, John, and we look forward to you being able to make it. Let's take a quick break and come back with more. When we come back, we have brand new music for you, so stay tuned.